HammerHead booth here. That's 5805, right? I'm getting it right. My name is Jeff Urbanski. I'm in charge of training for all of HammerHead Trenchless globally. And to my right is my compadre in this, Mr. Josh Hood. And today we're going to give you a little demonstration on how to decommission a lead water service. For me, this is a very personal matter. My family grew up just outside Flint, Michigan. And in the Flint area, we had it was a national tragedy. We had a lot going on, and lead services and lead in our water was a very, very large problem. My children swam at the YMCA in the water that had lead in it. My wife at the time was a chef in Flint, and she was cooking with that, and it was coming into our home. And it scared the world. And the thing that when you have tragedy or you have challenges, the good thing about what goes on with a company like that I'm very blessed to be a part of, HammerHead Trenchless, we rise to the occasion. We have the voice of the customer, and we said, we're going to come up with a solution. How do we come up with something that decommissions lead water services and put safe water back into homes where that people aren't getting sick? And Josh, that was the evolution of HydraSlitter.
That's correct. Originally, when HammerHead went down this path, we were trying to get the lead. We kept hearing remove the lead, remove the lead. So we were trying to get the lead out of the ground. And in fact, what that really meant is we had to remove it from service. So that's where we kind of went back to our roots of pipe bursting and figured out a way to slit the pipe, or burst it if you would, and then pull the new pipe back in the same path that the old one was laid. So we don't disrupt any other utilities. The pipe was there. We'll just put the new pipe back in that same exact spot.
But there's still 8 to 10 million lead services that are still that are active with water going through. Am I correct or am I wrong in that statement?
Well, sadly, that's true. There's still 8 to 10 million estimated services in North America alone.
And just in North America, wow, it's incredible. But at the same time, you know, we've been doing bursting, like you said, in water services of different types. But lead's a different animal from what I understand. I know that from my experience with bursting or slitting, we have multiple blades in some cases. Now this one only has a single blade. Why is that, and what's different about this system versus some of the other stuff that we have in the market?
So lead is proven to be extremely challenging to work with. It's very soft. It takes only like 600 or 800 pounds of force to tear it apart. And so as you're trying to run multiple blades through it to cut it, let's say in ribbons like you would a piece of plastic, it wants to wad up. It just will smash together and wad up, and it will not cut. It'll just clamp down on your cable. It causes all kinds of problems. So we went through, I think, 5 or 6 iterations or generations of different blades, and we finally settled on a single blade that is extremely sharp. It's extremely hard, but it does slit the lead like butter. We'll show that in just a minute.
So how many, I mean, you got one blade here. I mean, one blade is only one blade. I mean, how fast does that wear out?
We've done as few as 8 pulls before we wore it out, and as many as 18 before we wore it out. But it's a consumable part to the project.
Got it. Now, to do this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on bursting, we need to have 2 access points, probably one near the water meter itself and one near the curb stop. And then what do we do with the cable to be able to get that through the line?
So it's a really unique cable. We use a swage cable. We have a 1/4 inch swage cable, and in the middle of that, like 120 feet, well, I guess we have different lengths, but we then braze a larger 3/8 diameter to it. So use the 1/4 inch to get through the initial pass, use the 1/4 inch to pull the 3/8 through the pipe, because you need that extra pulling power to slit lead.
So then you put the assembly of all this, and we got it up on the big screen here, but the assembly of the different pieces, what are so important? Explain what each one is, Josh.
So this is kind of one of our patented flexi toolings. It's very similar to what we did when we developed gas line slitting, but we have our blade up front. Behind that we have a cone, and we do this demo. That cone is going to start opening the lead up after we cut it. Then there's a separation tube, which that is nothing but a spacer. It just gets the big expander on the backside that opens the ground up. It gets it away from the blade so it doesn't stretch the lead out so much at the blade that can't no longer.
So it kind of gives it a chance, is what you're describing, so it can open up fully and be able to pull in the new service.
Yeah, and each end of that tooling on the front and back, there's kind of like a male-female like ball swivel kind of joint to it, so it'll flex and move throughout the line as you're pulling.
And what are the different sizes of tooling or different pipes that we can slit like this?
So for lead, we've done as small as 1/2 inch, which is a very small part of the market. Most of it's 5/8, 3/4, and some 1 inch.
Okay.
And we can do all of those sizes.
So why don't we show them how it slits lead and just give everyone a kind of an example of what this is. All right. So this is what would happen underground, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you're gonna use an excavator, you're gonna grab onto the cable and pull it.
Yep. So the same excavator you used to dig the pit when you got there, There's a cable grip that we just grab the cable and pull.
So it basically is just sheer brute force, and as I see that blade, it's about to engage into that lead pipe on the screen. It's going to lock it against that plate, and then we'll see it start to slit here in a minute. But I mean, how long does this take? Is it pretty slick price? Or is it? I mean, as fast as you pull, is it?
It's as fast as you pull. You know, it's not going to work every time. Sometimes, depending on the ground conditions, that the lead might pull out of the ground, which is fine. You're still winning. You still get your new pipe in, but you do have to be prepared to deal with that if the ground is. We notice that a lot of times in the spring when it's really wet.
So my home in Michigan, when they removed the lead and I had a manual do it, it was wound up next to the house.
That's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to burst that. You need it to be fairly straight.
So you're going to have to make that pit, cut it, and then get that straight shot, and it'll follow that same path.
And hopefully it's coming through a basement wall, and you can actually don't need a pit. You can actually go right to the basement wall inside the house, chip it out, and then pull from the street.
I think some of these guys, when they put lead back in the day, they were doing it per foot, so they were getting paid that way. So I think that was probably the advantage we saw. So I see it, it's cutting it right now, and I'm seeing what you're talking about that spacer with the two expanders. It's slitting it and it's opening up and it's widening it up so you can pull, what is that, a tracer wire with your new hose pipe?
Yep, so we got two spots on the back that we can pull tracer wires in case for some reason you were to lose one of them or there was a failure somewhere where it got caught on a rock. So you can still pull two tracer wires for locating later.
For locating in the future and all that with the polymer pipe. Now, my question is, obviously we're pulling pretty hard right now and all that, but can this be done in copper? What pipes can this blade system be coming through there and do this on?
Just going to stop it right there so I don't run it into the end. So this blade is strictly for lead. It is a very sharp blade. Lead is very soft, so they work really well together. If you take that blade and put it on a copper, you'll destroy it. We do have alternative blades for doing galvanized, copper, and plastic. Usually,
I mean, this is pretty cool. It's in 2-size kits is what we offer. Is that what we have?
yeah, we have a 1/2-inch kit, and then we have a kit that is 5/8, 3/4, and 1 inch.
Okay. And if for those individuals that are interested, that are watching today, if they're interested in getting their hands on it, because a lot of I see the toolings here, what do they have to do? Is it talk to a HammerHead employee? What do we do?
Talk to one of the people in the gray shirts that's carrying an iPad. They can do a quote for you. We can walk you through all the tooling over here, or we can go on hammerheadshop.com and you can order it right online.
Perfect. Well, that'll conclude this demo, but for everyone to know, at 2 o'clock, we'll be over on the far side of the convention center doing another blue light and doing something a little different over there. We're going to invert a invertible glass, so a fiberglass liner, turn it inside out, and we're going to cure that with blue light at the far side of the show here. And if you can't see anything over there, if it gets busy, we will simulcast it here in this booth, so you'll be able to watch that same demo right here on the TV if you're in the area. Thank you so much for stopping and participating, and have a great WWETT show.